Hey Bryce, Micah Collins here, and in this video, I'm going to show you the three things that will set your company above your competition, not waste any of your time or mine. All right, so before I hop right in, you're probably sitting there asking yourself, why am I even doing this and what's in it for me? Well, the truth is, oftentimes in the world of the internet, most local business owners are simply too busy running their own business on how the internet can actually move the needle for their business, how it is actually done, boots on the ground. So I found that by giving people an easy free attack plan of actual things they can do to impact their own business for free, sometimes it results in those local business owners still raising their hands and saying, you know what, Micah, I like you. Why don't you just take care of this for me? So, Bryce, if by the end of this video you like what you've heard and you can see I have a lot of tricks up my sleeve that can help impact your business, so to speak, you can give me a quick call at 918-260-1694 and I'll take a closer look at it. So without any further ado, let's just hop right in. And the first thing I want to go with you today is your content. So now, most business owners know that they need content, but don't realize that Google likes to see a lot more content than you might think, okay? You have a decent amount of content here, and you have your pages pretty well split up decently. I would say if I was to nitpick, I would say, what I would do differently right off the top of my head is I would target more just Tulsa on this homepage. I know it kind of sounds counterintuitive because you want to make this like homepage applicable to everywhere, but if you make it applicable to everywhere, it gets found nowhere. That's just what we found with businesses and doing websites as far as like this goes. So I would do this Tulsa page. You can either leave this or not leave it, and I would just kind of morph this page into with the homepage and just name it like Tulsa Metro. That's what I would do as my homepage. If you ever, plan to grow bigger than that, bigger than Tulsa area, then that can always be figured out down the road, right? But for now, I would say personally, I would take the Tulsa, Oklahoma page and just kind of morph it with this home page, and you will definitely see better rankings that way for sure. Okay. That's the first thing I would say about content and getting the right keywords along those lines. Because since you're targeting just kind of everywhere with this, you're kind of throwing in a bunch of different cities. So Google doesn't know which city to throw this page up. Okay. So the first thing I would do is again change it to Tulsa, and then I'd get some Tulsa specific keywords found on your website. So how that works is if I go over here and I look at this little tool, it's called Ahrefs. It runs about a couple $100 a month. You can get it for yourself on ahrefs.com, but I love this tool because it allows me to see exactly behind the scenes what's going on. Okay. So if we look over here, we can see that you're ranking for one keyword and you're getting no traffic on your website. So it's really just sitting there collecting dust, if we're honest. If we look over here, we can see Ace Outdoor Services reviews. That is the only one that you're getting found for, and that's not really a keyword. Somebody happened to fall into your page from looking that up. So that is not the one we want to target. Now, what are the kind of keywords we want to target? We want to target, I would recommend starting off with like suburb areas, starting off with Claremore and like targeting that, or targeting Owasso, you know, then go off to like Bigsby, and then I'd target Jinx, try to conquer that, and then I'd hop over to like Broken Arrow because that's a step up, and then conquer that. And then once you have those conquered, like you want to just take one slice at a time and really get your website above there, and then graduate to the next one, right? So after Broken Arrow, then you could focus on dumping more money into actually conquering Tulsa landscaping in general. And also, I don't really know exactly which service you're wanting to target the most. Every guy has a preference. I've talked to multiple, and they all have a preference whether they want to do more fence installations, more landscaping, hardscaping. I'd say pick one that you like mostly want to focus on because it's so much easier to beat your competition whenever you're focused in one area and really dominating them. You can do the other work, right? You can upsell them into other work, but you do one that you really market a lot, okay? And that really helps with like if you're doing ads, ad spend, and of course doing the SEO as I'm showing you right now, it really helps with that. So that is another thing. And also I'd put some more blocks. That's another deal. I would be extremely aggressive with the blocks. Like I'm talking, this is a very competitive type of industry. I would be putting out 3 blocks every single week if I were you. It's a lot, I know, but it's really worth it when you start to see the compounding effect of marketing in your business, okay? So now I'm just going to show you Oklahoma landscape just because, I know they're a few steps up, right? They have like teams and all that kind of stuff. But I want to show you them because to show what's possible in the Oklahoma area just for landscaping. These guys are just targeting landscaping. They're not targeting like lawn care. They're not targeting, snow removal. They're not targeting, fence repair or hardscaping. They're just looking at landscaping and marketing that. If we look at them, we can see that they have 188 organic keywords that they're ranking for in the Tulsa area, and they're getting 735 people on their website every single month. Again, this is not just like binary. This is not like you do no marketing and you have no calls, and then all of a sudden you have way too many. It's a gradual, right? You start out, you start building it, and you start to get a little bit more, and you can always hold off on marketing a little bit whenever you start to have sufficient leads and you need to get more guys working for you. Okay. So let's look at what keywords are ranking for them. Okay. We can see the brand name is Oklahoma Landscape, so we're going to skip that. It's a high volume. Landscape Lighting Tulsa, that's a good one. Get searched 150 times a month. They get 48 of those people on their website because they're on the second position. This one down here is really good. Landscapers Tulsa, Oklahoma, gets searched 100 times a month. They get 34 of those people and they're on the second position. Again, this is like just from the last 6 months. This is not even in the busy season. So the I can't look at the busy season right now, but this next season I'm gonna have a more track record on that, specifically here in the Tulsa area. On landscaping, I've mostly done stuff for roofers and junk removal guys in the past, so I'm just now looking at the data for landscapers, and it's really good, especially for being the slow season. It's really good, would keep you busier than you would need. Tulsa landscape companies, we see 90 times a month, get 32 people, and they're on the second position. So now, Bryce, we're going to do something a little bit different before I bore you to death. We're going to take one of these good keywords like landscapers, Tulsa, Oklahoma, and we're just going to pretend we're a customer, potential customer. Type it onto Google. And this applies for any area, Claremore, Briar, Bixby, Broken Arrow, you name it. So if we look over here, the first section we see is the ad section. Now we know the ads can be good, but they can also be a bad money pit if you're not careful. And a lot of times it's like tire kicker leads, dude. You end up wasting your time with a bunch of people that really aren't interested, like Facebook Marketplace kind of people. You don't really want to deal with those guys all the time, especially when you're trying to grow a business. And the truth is, only 10 to 20% of all the clicks end up going here. The rest end up going down. So if we look down here at the map pack, this is a great place to be. But to get here, you need trust with Google, and it comes down to the second thing I wanted to speak with you today, and that is what we call citation. So if we look at Oklahoma Landscape, we immediately see their name, their address, and their phone number listed right here on Google. That is what we call the NAP or the NAP, and that is how Google verifies a local listing and identifies a local listing online. Okay, so what Google is doing is they're sending their bots or whatever out on these citations looking for businesses that they can trust, and the more of those citations that you're found on with your name, address, and phone number consistently throughout, the more they will start to trust you and put you higher in the map pack. So and what a citation is essentially is a directory. You might know them as like the BBB, Yelp, Bing, Merchant Circle, Yellow Book, Yellow USA, Hot Frog. The list goes on, hundreds and hundreds of directories. You're going to have more of those with your business information on than your competition has. And you will start to beat them online, as well as reviews. Obviously, reviews are the second most ranking factor. So, of course, keep the reviews going and you will dominate in whichever area you decide to dominate in, whether that's Claremore or Waso. Tulsa eventually, Broken Arrow. That's just what I would focus on as far as that. Now, if we go down, and this brings me to the organic section, and this brings me to the third thing I wanted to speak with you today, Bryce, and that is what we call backlinks. And again, 40 to 60% of all the clicks end up going in one of these areas. So it is split across those four areas, but 20 to 30% of all the clicks end up going for the top two positions right here. So a lot of calls end up going right here to the top 2 or 3 positions. As we can see, Oklahoma Landscape is in the third. Elm Creek Landscape and Design is at the top. And how you get here is backlinks, dude. So let me try not to bore you to death. What a backlink is like whenever website A links to site B, then site A is giving site B some of its link juice, like a vote of confidence from one website to another. And the more of these websites you have pointing to that, to your website, the more valuable your website is to Google, essentially. And also, another little point on that is the more relevant this website is pointing to your site, the more valuable that link is. And Let me try to explain it really simply for you. If you get like a local blog or an industry site, something to do with landscaping, fence repair, gardening, even pointing to your website, that's awesome. Google sees a lot of relevance there. But if you did a job for Pizza Hut, well, Google doesn't really care because you don't sell pepperoni pizzas. There's no relevance there. So if we look at your backlinks, you have 81 backlinks pushing power to your website. You have no traffic. Again, that's partially because of your content, like I was telling you earlier. You're going to have some of those specific phrases that people are looking up every single month naturally throughout your content. Another thing is the backlinks, okay? 81 backlinks, no traffic. We look over here. We see Oklahoma Landscape has 720 backlinks with 735 traffic every single month. Now, this may seem like unachievable or whatever, but you can do this while pacing yourself and you'll gradually see yourself getting higher in organic Google and you'll start to slowly get more calls because you don't want just crap ton of calls right out of the gate, right? You'll get overwhelmed and then you can't help everybody. All kind of, you want it to be gradual. So, looking at Oklahoma Landscape, this would be a gradual thing. All you have to do to get these backlinks is type in your competition right here. Go over here to backlinks, click on that. Go down here and click on any of these backlinks and get them for yourself. Sometimes you have to email them to get the backlink on there. Sometimes you just fill in your information and boom, it's done. Vast majority of them are free. Some of them are like a couple bucks a month, like really dirt cheap. So you can go through here and get most of these for yourself. And once you do that and you start doing your blogs and you start doing more content on your homepage, you'll 100% start dominating on Google and getting some of that 735, getting a cut of that for yourself. Okay, Bryce. So hopefully you can see by now, like getting you to the top on Google and getting more calls every single month. It's not magic. It's just a method. And I've shown you that method here today. So now I bet you're wondering, well, what now, Micah? Well, the truth is you can either take this information I provided you today and do this on your own. Dude, I'm totally cool with that. However, if you want the most fast and effective route and you save yourself the time and doing it all, you can give me a quick call at 918-260-1694. Again, Bryce, my name is Micah Collins. That's 918-260-1694. Hey, look forward to hearing from you, and I hope you have a good one.